Hello, everyone. I am continuing my coverage of the Spanish Nationals, which is coming up on the 15th of October. Once I have done this, I am also going to be covering the South African Nationals, which is coming up on the 5th and 6th of November. So lots of stuff going on. I may not have time to do everything, and for all the guys who've sent me their lists, I'm sorry. These two nationals are going to take a little bit of priority these next few weeks. Um, so I have a lot of lists that are waiting to go in my list reviews, but I'm not sure how much time I will have. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, I also have another query, another list. Sorry, not list. Rules query pending. Um, all of that is just it's a little bit further down the line of production right now because these two nationals are coming up rather quickly. So today we're going to take a look at the pack for the Spanish nationals on the 15th and 16th of October. Let's go and look. And oh, by the way, the Spanish nationals, there's a lot of people going. It's like 70 players. It's amazing. God, I wish I was going. So, anyways, let's go and watch. So here we have the pack, which I was fortunate enough to get my hands on. It looks really cool. The layout is really good. It's here we have the actual information that it takes place. It starts on Saturday the 15th in Madrid, and we have the sign up where you sort of send your an email here, and we have a lot of sponsors, a lot of sponsors. Um, Not all of them I know, although some of them I have heard of. It's really cool. Now, the rules here. Um, the first rule, life is too short to discuss every rule. Play and enjoy it with your partner. That's just, it's really good advice. This is a game. We're playing with toy soldiers. Really good advice. Don't take it too seriously. I know I take it very seriously myself, and this channel is all about taking it seriously, but come on. Basically, we're just playing with toy soldiers, right? So, um, it's 1,000 points. Um, it's a 17 order dice maximum. This puts a bit of a cap on it, and I like it actually. I'm sort of more and more enjoying that thought because, especially with the Spanish nationals here, because the Spanish have been playing around with chess clocks for quite a while, and they have very limited time for each round. So an order dice maximum might actually be necessary, and it also does something for lists that you typically see. If you don't have an order dice maximum, you're going to see lots of Darker Stewards. But if you do have an order dice maximum, you're pushing in. You're going to have to spend your point somewhere, right? So you're pushing it down, and you're sort of getting more regular units, more veterans, more all of that stuff. So I like it. One reinforced single platoon and only theaters. I love it. And they have a limit. And this is not. This is rather fluffy. I would have wanted this to be more spelled out if I was going. Um, Infantry selectors only, theater selectors only. And there is a lot of difference here because some theater selectors are in some tournaments considered to be um, just theater selectors, and in other tournaments they're considered to be tank selectors. Where do you put the line? What is what, right? Because some selectors you can't even take tanks, but you can't take any lieutenants either. So for me, I wanted this to be more spelled out. Maybe it's not a problem for the Spanish, but I can think of several instances where you could argue whether something was an infantry selector or not, whether it was a tank selector. Um, and listed altars missions have special campaign rules, and place or possess fortifications are not allowed. So this includes the very overpowered Luftwaffe Defense Force, which is extremely good. But again, what alters missions? What have special campaign rules? Ah, I would want this to have an actual list so that people knew what they were doing. I like the idea, but I wanted to have a list so that I can go and nerd out and find the correct theater selector for me, right? Um, and I don't want, you know what? I don't want to send a list in and have it rejected because I picked the wrong theater selector. It sucks having that done. So maybe it's not a problem for you guys, but I want a list. User proxies, check with the organization. I like that you actually say here that the Spanish say that you can use proxies, but you have to check. I like that. Lists and registrations all by WhatsApp. Spain is a WhatsApp country. Many places in Europe is. Denmark is definitely not. But I am learning to love WhatsApp. It's really cool. Nice app for doing stuff. Then we have on Saturday, the 15th of October, the tournament will be played. It will be a 4-round tournament. The start of the second, third, and fourth round will be punctual. So that's what you have to do when you're running a national, especially with 70 players. You have to be very, very strict with the time. You can't go over time. It does not work. It creates the utmost chaos. So I like this. Arrival and review 9:10. Then round 1 starts at 9:20. So I would suggest that you arrive before 9:10. Because 10 minutes to set up and find your table is not a lot of time, and it runs to 11:20, so 2-hour rounds. This is something that you can do with players who knows what they're doing. I wouldn't recommend this for beginners. I would recommend way longer, but with players who knows what they're doing, 2 hours should be enough. Round 2 starts at 11:50, so you have half an hour break. That's really good. And you also have a full hour break, no more than a full hour break, because from 1:50 to 2:50, that is, and your game stops a little bit, 10 minutes to 1, so you have a long lunch break here. But that's the Spanish way, isn't it? They do like their long lunch breaks, and I think for them it's even an early lunch. So, yeah. No, it's a 1-hour lunch break. Yeah, from 1:50, 10 to 2, to 10 to 3. Then we have round 3, which goes again 2 hours and stops at 10 to 5. And then the final round before the Spanish go off and eat their dinner. They eat late. It runs from 20 past 5 to 20 past 7. And there will be a chess clock with 1 hour per player. So yeah, I really like this Spanish idea. I haven't actually tried it yet, but I really want to. It's a nice thing. It keeps the pace, and it prevents players from slow playing and from bringing armies that drag the pace out of a game. It really encourages fast and decisive play. I like it. 4 rounds, blue versus blue. Swiss system. You score 4 points for a win and 2 for a draw. It goes a little bit down in round 3 and 4. I am not sure why this is, but it does. There you score 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw. So the first 2 rounds, the wins there count for more. Maybe Janos, when he comes onto the channel, can explain some of the thought process behind this. It does mean that the first 2 rounds are very decisive, and the last rounds are not that decisive. There will be a secondary objective in round 1 and 2 that will give extra points, and in round 3 it will mean more. Again, I'm not sure why there's this difference, especially because it will confuse some players, but maybe there's a really good reason for it. At least the secondary objective becomes more important. the further you go. And they even have rules for concession or departure. I really like this. I'm not sure I agree with the rules as they are. I'm not even sure I understand them. As I've said before, the Spanish, maybe their English level is not the best you can have, but their rules are second to none. Their gamemanship is second to none. So I like the idea of having a fixed set of rules for what you do if someone concedes a game. That is something that we all need to think about. Sorry about this. I need to go and check something. Okay. Right. That's something we really all need to think about. Then they have, of course, the place where it takes place, the venue at Kingdom War Games, and then the fact here that it's open until the 1st of August. There was a deadline for sending the lists in on September the 15th, so all the lists should be in by now. There's a registration payment. It costs 22 euros. That's fine for an event of this size. It's really good. Payment must have been made and list sent. Yes, if there's an odd number, the last registered player will be left out of the tournament and his fee will be returned. That sucks to be the player who's left out. Sometimes we have an extra player, like a extra TO, that can sort of be the odd man in. The fee will be forfeited if you don't attend the tournament after you've paid. Perfectly fine, because the fee is of course used to pay the venue, to pay for any sort of like the trophies and stuff. Yeah. Any player who treats a colleague rudely or is rude, creates conflict, or does not listen to reason, the organization may disqualify him and he must leave the facility immediately and be banned for the next tournament and lose the registration fee. Unfortunately, that is something you have to write down. I've not actually ever seen it being affected, but you have to write it down. There should be strict rules for behavior. This is a friendly game. We are supposed to create a friendly atmosphere, even when we're playing competitively. And I know tempers and emotions get involved when we play competitively, but we have to be very respectful. This is a game. This is for the fun of it. We're all there to have fun, even when we lose. And then the first, second, and third place trophies and the wooden spoon for the least rank clumsy recruit. I love that term. The best tank destroyer. There's a headhunter for the most number of NCOs killed. There will be gifts and tournament kit for all players. There will be a best painted. There will be other awards for the for something I'm not sure what it is. That's really cool. I love the fact that tournaments give out a lot of prizes. That is really cool. And they even sent out a second explanation here, which is the additional tournament rules, which we can just have a brief look at. A player who joins late will have time subtracted. So if you're not at the table, you will lose your time. Love that. Good idea. The decisions of the referee are definitive, must be accepted, so don't argue with the referee. I have that same rule every time I TO a tournament. It's something I learned from the WTC and Paul Walker. That is just a good rule to put out there. Don't argue. When the referee says this is the rule, that's how you play it, even if it's wrong. In the event that the launch of a game, some situation cannot be determined, rolled at 6. Yes, that's how you do it. Secondary objective rules. Secondary targets will be placed in the center of the objective. Objectives 3 inches from the center of the objective. Yes. And there's even a rule for if you can't place the secondary objective in the center, maybe because you have another objective there or something impossible, then you place it to the side. Softgames vehicles are removed from the table, but armor stays, considered impassable, does not hide vision, line of sight blocking, and provides heavy cover. Having those rules there, love it. I don't agree with the rules. I would want all vehicles to stay and provide cover, But it doesn't matter as long as you have clearly stated rules. I love that. They also have clearly stated rules for when scenery is moved over by a tank or a track, and it says here that it is removed. I don't necessarily agree, but I like the fact that it's stated in these. It's sort of a fact, right? And really, I like that. In scenarios where the units can be left in reserve, not as expressly indicated, they will always be lower. So rounding down, yes. Free Soviet flag is allowed. Okay. Two-player ambush, yes. Make rules for this. I will copy these rules. They are really good. Weapons that have a 6-inch range when reacting to a charge beyond that distance will offset the long-range penalty with point blank. Having that stated, perfect, love it. Again, you can make different rules calls for these things, but just having them stated. And I think most of these should be actually asked of the WTC so that they state them as well. Wrecker vehicles remains down after the reaction, yes. That is also what the rules book says. Calculate all points for 3 units. I think the Spanish actually, when they are doing kill points, they are doing the points values. So 3 units would be 0 points, but this says that you have to calculate the points as well. I like that. This idea of your kill points being the points that you've killed, not the order dice that you've killed. I like that idea as well, but it does take a little more math. The Greens roll to check after receiving the first down, but can suffer several. Yeah. So you check green the first time you go down, but you can suffer several before the check from the same volley. This is the actual English here is not very clear. To fire with vehicles, the position of the firearm must be taken into account. Perfect. Just writing that down. Love it. Scoring system is very clearly stated here, and there are tiebreakers. This is a lovely pack. I think I will be copying a lot of it because there's just a lot of nice ideas here. So that is the pack for the Spanish nationals. But before we leave this completely, I wanted to show you something else, because we can already see the first rounds, the tables and the matchups for those. So I don't actually know all these people, but I do know some of them. So let's go and see here. This is the first round matchups, table 1 to 12. We have Achilles here on table 2. He is one of the WTC players. We have Jano here on table 5, also a WTC player from the Spanish team. We have Russell of the Welsh team here on table 11. Love the fact that Russell is traveling so much, and oh damn it, I wish I was going to the Spanish Nationals. Merrick is, I think, one of the from the Polish team. They are also wanting to travel quite a lot to play Bolt Action. Love that. Here we have the table 13 to 24. Let's see. Anyone we can see? Stefan? Is that Stefan of the German team? I think it is. And we have Krzysztof here, also of the Polish team on 22. Oh, love these matchups. This is good. Oh man. Yeah. Don't know any of these guys, but table 35, look at that. That is 70 players going, and this is all the matchups for round 1. Everyone who is going, I am very, very envious. Love it. I would really want to go, and I'm going to need to. Could Putin please stop this war? Like, just surrender tomorrow, because I want to have the economy get better so I can travel to play games. That is just stupid, right? Anyways, that was the pack and the matchups for round 1. Cheers.